You know this feeling. The plan is made, the goal is set. Your rational mind, the one that watched this video, knows exactly what you're supposed to do next. But then, the moment arrives, and something else takes over. A pressure in your chest, a buzzing in your head. Your body slams on the brakes, and suddenly, the simplest action feels like climbing a mountain. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're hijacked. Here is the fundamental flaw in almost all advice about self-sabotage. It's written for your brain when the system is online and everything is running smoothly. But it fails the moment you experience an emotional power surge, the moment your system becomes overloaded. In that state of overload, willpower trips and goes dark. Your deep psychological insights are offline. You're not thinking. You're just reacting to a blaring internal alarm. We've all been there. And what we need in that moment isn't more motivation. We need a circuit breaker, a simple protocol that stops the destructive surge, protects the system from damage, and allows us to reboot our rational brain. In this video, we're not going to hand you another complex blueprint. We're going to install a 3-step emotional circuit breaker you can use to stop the overload and get back in control the moment it happens. First, we have to understand what's happening in our nervous system. When that impulse to procrastinate or quit arises, it's often triggered by a perceived threat, the fear of failure, of judgment, of success. This threat signal activates our brain's alarm system, the amygdala. It floods our system with stress hormones and effectively knocks our rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, offline. This is why you can't think your way out of it. You can't reason with a fire alarm. The goal is not to fight the alarm. The goal is to trip the breaker, to stop the surge, calm the system, and get your rational brain back in the driver's seat. This is the emotional circuit breaker. 3 steps. Label the surge, discharge the power, lower the load. Let's install the system. Step 1. Label the surge. The moment you feel that wave of resistance, dread, or anxiety, your only job is to put a name to it. Say it out loud if you can. This is the fear of not being good enough. This is the discomfort of being a beginner. This is panic. This isn't just positive thinking, it's a neurological intervention. Studies on affective labeling show that simply assigning a word to a strong emotion reactivates your prefrontal cortex. Naming the feeling separates you from it. You are not the storm, you are the one noticing the storm. It doesn't make the feeling disappear, but it stops the hijack. It gives you back a crucial sliver of control. You go from being the feeling to observing the feeling. Step 2, discharge the power. Now that you've put your brain online, you have to deal with your body. That anxiety you feel is a physical event. Your body is primed for a fight or flight response that never comes when you're just staring at a screen. So you need to complete the stress cycle and discharge that energy. For just 30 to 60 seconds, move your body. This doesn't have to be a full workout. Shake your hands and arms, stand up and do a few jumping jacks. Tense every muscle in your body for 10 seconds and then release. This burns off the excess adrenaline and cortisol. It tells your nervous system that the threat has passed. Remember, you cannot think your way out of a physiological state. You have to move. This is the missing piece for so many of us who are told to simply tolerate the discomfort. You tolerate it by first helping your body feel safe enough to do so. Okay, you've labeled the surge and discharged the excess power. Your rational brain is rebooting. But the original task that caused the overload can still look like a high wattage appliance your system can't handle. This is where the circuit trips a second time. We try to plug a 10,000 watt task into a system that can currently only handle 10 watts. So you lower the load. You shrink the next action until the energy required is so small it draws almost no power. You don't have to write the report. You just have to open the document. You don't have to run 3 miles. You just have to put on your running shoes. You don't have to have the difficult conversation. You just have to write down the first sentence you want to say. The goal isn't to complete the task. It's to prove to your nervous system that any forward action is safe. By lowering the load to something ridiculously small, you interrupt the pattern of shutdown and allow your system to come back online fully without the risk of another overload. Label the surge, discharge the power, lower the load. This protocol isn't a magic cure for the faulty wiring or core beliefs that might be causing these power surges. That is a deeper journey, and it's a worthy one. But this is your breaker switch for the moment of crisis. Because real change isn't made by rewiring the whole house in a day. It's made in the small, difficult moments where you feel a system overload beginning, and you choose to flip a switch, any switch, to do something differently. You don't need to fight the surge of panic. You just need a simple sequence to stop it from blowing a fuse. The next time you feel that overload, you don't have to analyze it. You just have to run the protocol. Be kind to yourself and just reboot. To make it even easier, we've created a one-page PDF of this emotional circuit breaker that you can save to your phone. Download it for free at the link in the description.